I want to talk about the terminology for null hypothesis tests, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I've just made up some, like literally guys made this up. But let's say that we're trying to prove that most people prefer chocolate, okay? Because who wouldn't? Chocolate's awesome. So then I want to prove that the proportion P is greater than 50%. Then my null is going to be that the proportion is 50, that, half the people like it, half the, there's, no difference. I want to prove P is greater than 0.5. In other words, more people like chocolate, as they should. Okay, so I've made up two T statistics here. Now I've made up some CVs here too. So let's see here, I'm doing a one-tailed test. So over here, I just need, because I'm only trying to prove that it's greater than. So I'm just trying to prove here that my test statistic value is greater than 1.96. It's out here in this yellow area. So this first one, 5.62, would put me out here, and I'd be able to reject the null, okay? Rejecting the null means I'm tossing away this that says it's only 50%, and I'm able to accept the null, and then I'm able to support the alternative. Your goal, the null hypothesis test, just reject or fail to reject the null. We rejected it, which means we get to approve, we get to support our alternative. So we're able then to say, oh well, I wanted this to let me, there we go. So then if we reject the null here, we can then support our alternative, which means that we have sufficient evidence to say, and not evidence, to say that most people like chocolate best, because they should. Now, what if we got test statistic 2, this 0.97? Now, that's over here, right? So if we got that, that'd be, here in the middle. That wouldn't be in my yellow area, so I would have to fail to reject. Now, that doesn't mean I'm proving anything, okay? Doesn't mean I prove my null. You never, ever prove a null. That's just not what this test does, okay? That means I fail to reject. And what it means, I don't have enough evidence to say, based on my results, that most people like chocolate. It's a sad, sad world. So then that's my other option, is that I fail to reject the null. So I can't throw away that. It could be 50%. It could be half and half, okay? I don't support it, but I can't get rid of it. And so we have insufficient evidence to say that people like chocolate best. Sad world, okay? So your whole goal with this, how you prove anything, is rejecting the null, and then you get to accept the alternative. If you fail to reject, that means you're pretty much, I didn't do nothing. I would just, okay, nothing really came out of this, go back to the drawing board, try something else, maybe try a different test. Really, it's just inconclusive results. But if you can reject it, then you get to prove your null, which is usually what your goal, you prove your alternative, which is what your goal is here. That's usually how these are set up. Now, there are some, kind of eddies where they use that, okay, by not rejecting it, we can kind of, amorphously say, well, then this could kind of be true, but that's not generally the purpose. So we don't ever accept a null. I'm not saying when I fail to reject, I'm not saying that the proportion is 50%. I'm just saying it's not more. I can't prove that it's more than 50%. Okay? It's one of those inconclusive things. You get to say something conclusively if you reject. If you don't, you just kind of like, okay, can't really say much. Go try something else.